Two teams, they have a chance to advance to the Sweet 16. One of them will face off against Notre Dame next weekend. Jimmy Dykes, Tiffany Green here with you, and let's go! Opening tip, and it's controlled by the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats picking up a win against West Virginia in the first round Friday. Esmeri Martinez blocked by Cheyenne Sellers, still gets a hand on it. Skip pass across, out of bounds, and it's Maryland basketball.
Yeah, that overall team length, Maryland can be a problem on the defensive end. A lot of long, rangy kids.
Let's take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by Capital One, and Diamond Miller is the player you want to watch out for. Top 3 projected lottery pick in next month's WNBA draft. She has the ball in her hands. She puts it up and no good. Faith Masonis gets the offensive rebound, and Cheyenne Sellers knocks down the jumper.
No problem scoring for Maryland. 79 points a game. If you're Arizona, you've got to be terrific on your second shot defense. Keep them off the glass.
Well, this Arizona lineup is anchored by Shayna Pellington with the ball in her hand. Kate Reese as well. A couple of fifth-year seniors with this program, along with Lauren Fields and Jade LaVille, 2 new faces to this program for the Wildcats this season.
What I like about Arizona, they got 2 young ladies in their starting lineup with national title game experience, Reese and Pellington. And in March, man, you cannot overstate how important playing on a big stage and having success is.
Dia Barnes coaching her alma mater, one of 4 active coaches to lead their former schools to the title game. And you talked about some of that carryover that they've seen with Shayna Pellington and Kate Reese. And this group is very much hungry to get back to that big stage.
Yeah, Dia Barnes just didn't play at Arizona. She's the all-time great to play at Arizona, scoring, rebounding. Man, the competitive fire that she had as a player, so true still as the head coach on the sidelines.
Well, Faith Masonis puts the 1 up after knocking down the baseline jumper. Masonis, 5th-year senior out of Belmont, New Jersey. And you see the pressure being applied in the half-court defense from Maryland. So far, coming up empty on those possessions for Arizona. Running the floor and streaking the other way is Diamond Miller. Well, we saw Maryland get off to this hot start in their win against Holy Cross Friday.
She is not a diamond in the rough. She's very close to a finish.
But you credit Adia Barnes and the job that she's done. So masterful in the turnaround, going from bottom half of the Pac-12 just about 5 years ago to a contender.
3 turnovers early in the ball game. One of them a team turnover, but I like what she did. She takes the time out of Dia Barnes, comes out of the timeout, and hammers that ball inside to Kate Reese, but around that restricted arc, or at least getting the ball inside. Well done. This time of March, sometimes teams can lose their joy. Not this Maryland Terrapin squad. Yeah, they are joyful and thankful to still be playing, but she loves this squad. A lot of reasons why.
Brenda Fries in her 21st season. She was perfect in first-round games and remained that way after that win over Holy Cross. She said, I love the start that we got off to, how we were locked in. We came in forcing turnovers defensively. We saw that early already in this ball game. In the first 3 possessions for Arizona, 3 turnovers. And so now her group is looking to tack on some more on the offensive end.
By the way, it's a shot that you have to make if you're going to knock off South Carolina if Maryland were to get back to that game.
LaVille just short. Coming up with the rebound is Diamond Miller, who's pushing the issue, flips it over to Masonis, thinks about it. And Masonis on the take, and the duck up and under, and finish with the left hand from Faith.
You have to guard all 5 spots if you're Arizona like you're guarding guards. Masonis is so good. I know she's undersized, 6'1", but she can drive it. Terrific footwork. Stick a 3 if you back too far off her. This Maryland squad is hard to guard.
Shayna Pellington, some indecision there, up in the air. Meanwhile, darted over from Sellers to Miller.
You can't sell your team down if the team's going to turn it over.
But going back to Cheyenne Sellers, and we were talking before the game, Jimmy, just about that tough coaching, and not always does that trickle down from parent to child and that synergy with coach. But Brenda Fries said, look, we have the buy-in from the parents on in.
And that's also not common, as you would think. And you got parents that back you up, making sure 25 in red doesn't get involved on the glass.
Lauren Fields grabbing the rebound, pushing, has numbers, 3-on-2. Pellington thought about it, caught up in the air, and stolen away by Diamond Miller. 1-on-1. And Helena Puello with a nice defensive swipe there for the steal.
It just speaks to the uncertainty that Arizona's playing with early in this game. You have a 3-on-2 and can't get an advantage situation on an angle. It's a little bit shell-shocked right now against the Terrapins. I guess that can happen, right?
Right. Shell-shocked. I see what you did there. Fear the turtle. You know, that's what they say around these parts as Kate Reese.
She's kind of underrated nationally, going up against better post players, bigger post players. Man, that motor is relentless. And just her heart and toughness alone will drag Arizona forward in this game.
Four-time All Pac-12 selection, 5-year starter for the Wildcats. But also on the offensive end, you need the help of Esmeri Martinez, the transfer from West Virginia. We saw her come through with a double-double Friday. She took a hit in practice yesterday, but was good to go. And Kate Reese fighting, working hard down low and gets two.
I like that matchup for Arizona. I mean, Sellers is just as tall, but not nearly as strong. And Adia Barnes, again, sees the game from her pro career. Goes isolation with Kate Reese.
Oh, the nice touch there from Abby Myers, kissing it off the glass for two. Again, another turnover and stolen away by Maryland. Now they work in the half court, back to Myers, 10 and white. Kicks it over to Bree McDaniel, the true freshman. Can't get it to go. Brene Alexander trying to find her teammates. And good defense there from Lauren Fields. She's going all the way to the basket, too strong. Hurried pace in these last couple of possessions. Left short, poked away. McDaniel helps the Terps get a fresh 20. Lisa Pinzon running the point for the Terps.
She is such a valuable point guard. Pinzon, 20 minutes a game, but and so tough with the ball, guarding the ball, doesn't turn it over, doesn't need shots, impact winning.
Connor looking for Pellington on the inbound.
As good as Pellington is, she's not a three-point threat. She's an inside that three-point line, two-point maker.
Pops in and out for Paris Clark, and Diamond Miller bringing it back up the other way. Kicks it over. Brene Alexander. Got it!
That's money. That is absolutely money. No one in the women's game is shooting the ball any better than 5 and wide Brene Alexander. 44% on the year and at 52% in her last 7 games. That is money.
She knocked down 4 triples coming off the bench Friday, transferred over from Vanderbilt. Pellington pulls up, and that brings us to the close of the first quarter here from this second round game from College Park. Trip to the Sweet 16 on the line, man.
Yeah.
A 30-plus point win over Holy Cross Friday, and you've got to credit to the newcomers buying into the culture, but some of the old heads, if you will, like Faith Masonas, who helped to make everyone feel welcome. How about a welcome to College Park from Cheyenne Sellers? And converting to offense on the other end, the triple from Brene Alexander.
Your rim decisions for Arizona in this game has to be on point because of the length that Maryland can put on.
Making every shot so difficult.
I think Brenda Freese's kids have, since that Big Ten tournament, have really bought in and dialed in what they need to look like defensively if they're going to go deep in this tournament.
There's Clark pushing back the other way. Hoop at home.
Tiffany, I say nice because the sprint ability of Kate Reese to run the floor, get out in front of the play as a post player, and then seal off just enough to allow the drive to happen. Watch Kate Reese right here. She's out and gone, out in front of the play. Doesn't score, but gets a screen assist. Boom, right there. Just clips Cheyenne Sellers just enough. really well done to get Clark to the rim.
Maybe it's that McDonald's All-American type of connection. Kate Reese, the first in program history, and then Paris Clark comes in as another McDonald's All-American for Adia Barnes. The pull-up, no good. Cheyenne Sellers on the offensive rebound. She'll go to the charity stripe. The march to Dallas, the question that everyone has been asking, can anybody knock off the #1 overall seed, South Carolina?
Well, I think they can, and South Carolina has had some close wins this year. They're not the dominant like the UConn when they were just absolutely mowing through people, but man, I think Dawn Staley is the next Pat Summitt. She will not be satisfied, I don't think. I played against her until she's the all-time winner in national championships, and they could potentially get on that type of run over the next 10 years.
Trying to win it back-to-back and be the 10th team to do so in undefeated fashion.
Now, I know Maryland got it put on them earlier this year by South Carolina, but they did not have Diamond Miller on the floor. You've got to be able to make perimeter shots against South Carolina. If not, you get nothing inside the lane in the painted part of the floor. And Maryland's built offensively to do it.
Kate Reese with the bucket, and right now she is the engine that is helping to keep this Arizona Wildcat club in it. 10 points now for the fifth-year senior.
Well, good ball pressure by Clark. Just a freshman point guard out there putting heat on the point of attack. You look up now, Maryland with only 17 on the shot clock because of it.
The shot from Abby Meyer.
A big part of this Maryland team.
Oh yeah, she went off, and Shayna Pellington slashing to the hoop. Sona's trying to dump it down there to Abby Myers. Tough pass in traffic. And Martinez comes up with the rebound. An excellent rebounder for these Wildcats.
We're fine, Kate Reese, right? Good things will happen to you.
Right now, Arizona settling down and settling in, taking their time in their half-court set. Good ball movement over to Paris Clark. Martinez with the putback.
Defensively, you can back off of Pellington. You run a lot of crowded offense. Arizona really good at it.
Diamond Miller, typically a three-point shooter. She stroked it. No good. 6-0 run for Arizona. Wow! By Diamond Miller. Said, no, ma'am. Don't do it. In College Park, Maryland, Arizona's bearing down here in the second quarter after getting off to a really bad start, to be honest with you. They would say it too, but they have since fought back into this one, just trailing by 5 and can cut it to one possession with a make here from Paris Clark.
I like Paris Clark, man. She is so fast as an offensive rebounder, fast in transition. Not playing with any fear at all for a freshman on the big stage, 22 in red. Arizona's run game now starting to impact. Well done, Pellington. Yes, sirree.
10-0 run from Arizona and Pellington. An awkward fall as a Maryland player is down underneath the basket and appears to be holding that lower leg.
Oh, yeah, that inside contact. Proper thing for the officiating crew to get in and look at it. To your point about McDaniel, number 42 overall in the 2022 class. They've done a good job of managing the physicality of this ball game. Making sure the rough plays are called and the obvious plays are called.
Masonis, that baseline jumper, and somebody's got to get to or contest that. Paris Clark on the take in the left finish. You said you really liked her game. What stands out, man?
Give the ball, let her get downhill, and really good with a left reach. Hard to get to her shot on the layups.
The elbow jumper.
Handle this press. It's a 1-2-2 tempo press. Will trap you if you make a mistake. Pellington handles it well. So much experience with that Canadian senior national team.
Watch out for Lauren Fields, as that's the first triple of the day for Arizona, and they tie it all at 29. Kate Reese grabbing the board, and Pellington and Arizona have a chance to take their first lead of the ball game, and they do.
What a comeback.
Stolen away by Helena Puello. Puello bounce pass over to Clark. She collects it. And it's good.
And she's all of 6 feet. She can guard multiple spots. She's not on Diamond Miller right now.
And it's Masonis. Masonis has been a problem, y'all, in this first half.
Where's Kate Reese, huh? Arizona's asking the same question.
I mean, a traveling violation.
2 proud programs. You know, Maryland expects to be there in the chase for a Final Four every single year. Adia Barnes got her team there a couple of years ago, but she wakes up every morning thinking we belong. We're the best out there as well. Neither one of these teams, they're highly skilled, but their will.
And this Wildcat team, after not getting off to a great start to open the ball game, but staying the course and fighting their way back into it. Could be interesting to see what happens in this one as Arizona and Maryland.
They normally drop to this 2-3 zone. They can fire out of it. They can trap it. It's an aggressive 2-3 zone for the most part. Arizona cannot be lackadaisical with a pass right now.
Cuello picks up her dribble. Got to get a shot up. And Lauren Fields not able to do so before going into the locker room. Not what you want. However, a 33-32 advantage for Arizona. As Arizona starts off the opening possession of the third quarter. Pellington had 6. Kate Reese led the way, we mentioned, with 12 points. And as Mary Martinez did her thing on the boards as well. Reese asking for going up against Sellers, but instead Pellington decides for the jumper. A couple of bodies rolling around the ball, LaVille and Miller, and it's Maryland basketball. So Cheyenne Sellers, 4 rebounds, 4 assists to go along with 7 points in the first half, but picked up a couple of personal fouls, looking for a partner, Diamond Miller, who steps on the end line. Well, you mentioned it earlier, Jimmy, the fact that this Arizona team had a chance to host, had a poor close to the regular season, but Adia Barnes has seen this group play as good as anybody in the country. They picked up wins against Colorado and Utah. So she says, yeah, I know what we're capable of.
Starting on Friday in the first round, you could not play your best and still advance in this tournament. Not now.
Kate Reese stolen away by Diamond Miller. Miller through a couple of defenders and the finish.
Hard to find someone better in this tournament in the open floor, especially when she can get the ball in that left hand. All of 6'3", reads the defense, surveys it, and the entire time knowing that she's going to get to the left side of the rim. This is a kid right here against ranked opponents has risen up, and it's time for her to do it again.
I think about the way she was able to rise on that jumper and that game winner over Notre Dame earlier in the season on the road. I mean, we've seen some special moments from Diamond Miller, and when you talk to folks in the WNBA, I had a chance to chat with LaChina Robinson, one of our basketball analysts. I said, well, what makes Diamond Miller so special? Well, she can knock down shots, her versatility, tenacity, and we're seeing her relentless mentality coming back out of the locker room. And now these Wildcats having to work without Shayna Pellington on the court. She picked up an offensive foul. That sent her to the bench with 3, and now as Marie Martinez picks up one off the chart.
Well, if you're Adia Barnes, you got to get Kate Reese going again. That was your answer in the first half. When this thing starts slowing down on you, 25 in red and Pellington were your answers, along with Paris Clark in the first half problems. Find those kids again.
Clark trying to guide basketball. She's been tenacious on the court so far.
One more.
Myers kicks it out to Sellers. Cheyenne Sellers eyes down the 3, can't connect. And then stolen away by Abby Myers, the active hands.
All of 6 feet, really good athlete, defends multiple kids on the defensive end.
Moving all around the court with or without the basketball. Ivy League Player of the Year, so you talked about the huge pickup there.
And sometimes you question kids when they transfer up a level. She comes from Princeton, but think about this. On November the 11th, early in this season, she put 21 on South Carolina. Her game stepped up immediately. It didn't take her 5 or 6 weeks to adjust to this level. This is in. Man, it should have been in. She has not missed, 52% from three over the last 7 games.
And just smart play by the Spaniard, Elena Puello, with a nice touch off the glass.
That
was dangerously close for backcourt. Yeah, we saw the same thing, and everyone oohed here inside the arena. Sellers, what an eye, what an assist. Sellers to Miller. Your backcourt, you've got Paris Clark, a true freshman, and Kaylin Gilbert, a true freshman, playing in just their second NCAA tournament game. And she was denied on the way up. Miller leading the break over to Lavender Briggs. And she'll go to the charity stripe.
Another kid that takes it personal. And Caitlin Clark has never been to the Final Four. And what a pleasure she is to watch. I think she's a bigger, stronger version of Jackie Stiles back in the day.
Whoa,
when I watch her play, from the scoring, from the flair, from the aggressive passing, how she can get her own but keep her team involved. A rare combination to do, but man, I'm all in on watching Caitlin Clark play the game of basketball. I like watching her as much as anybody out there right now in the men's or women's game. Handle that press, make them pay. Well done by Arizona.
To try to assert themselves here and come back in this third quarter. Again, it was just back and forth. First quarter belonged to Maryland. Gilbert trying to go to work, kicks it over to Paris Clark. Maryland has done a nice job sharing the basketball, assisting on 15 of their 17 makes.
So much uncertainty, and it certainly played off. And I think the same thing could hold up in this women's trial. I know South Carolina is the heavy favorite, like 47% chance ESPN analytics have of South Carolina cutting down the nets, but they are vulnerable.
And there's the streak from Cheyenne Sellers, the largest lead of the game for the Terps. Miller thought she got all ball, but whistled for the foul.
Really, really good. Multiple handlers, multiple finishers.
And they really like to get out in transition and just share the basketball with each other. We've seen that the opposite way where it was...
I say South Carolina is vulnerable. I think it's a really big deal. If they're going to lose in this tournament, it's going to be to a team that's already played them once this year. So you know going in what to expect as Sellers puts the spin move on.
Reese with a couple of white jerseys around her.
If this is your horse, and you're going to ride your horse if you're a head coach, and 25 in red has got to continue to fight, post, repost, try to get this game back to 10 points, a manageable number.
152 games played for Kate Reese throughout her career at Arizona. Diamond Miller, what a move! The athleticism, the ranginess, and see how much ground she covered?
And you don't get back and get your defense set? That's on Arizona as much as anything. You make a free throw if you're Arizona, and look what happens.
We wondered how she would come out, and 9 points put up.
Her given name is Diamond Mariana Miller.
Yes.
And I believe it's her grandmother that said we've got enough last name Anna's within her siblings, and we need to go with Diamond on this one.
Alexander working on Madison Connor.
Because they can all step out, drive it, space off of drives, knock down perimeter shots. They are a tough cover. That the Big Ten, their last national champion was 1999 by Purdue. That one surprised me.
Yeah, a number 1 seed. Michigan is in there.
I mean, this Maryland team.
You've got Iowa, this Maryland group. Ohio State. They're feeling like family on family on family.
Yeah, well, they were splintered last year. Again, you cannot let her get to her left. I love how Brenda Freeze, most of her baseline out of bounds play calls are to get Diamond Miller on the right side of the floor so she can just let that left hand take over the game. To your point about that trip to Shenandoah Valley, Tina's kids had journaled and really opened up how to share with one another and got the idea, oh, that's tremendous. I love the journal story and how it really bonded a Maryland squad that brought in a bunch of new kids.
Arizona looking for the final shot, just trying to take any type of momentum going into the fourth quarter, but a dominating third period from Maryland, outscoring Arizona 29-9.
Yeah, they were down at the half. Think we can get a free pair of shoes before we get out of here?
Hey, man, look, it never hurts to ask. I mean, why not? Coming out hot to start this fourth. She said, you know what? Everybody plays their part. We're humming right now as a staff, and we just get each other.
And if you're going to beat South Carolina, to me, your rim decisions are going to have to be really good. You cannot have guards that drive in there time and time again, thinking they're going to shoot finesse layups. It will not happen. You're going to have to make some mid-range shots. You're going to have to make some threes. And when you get a chance, you're going to have to run and score before that half-court defense can get. She has her eye. She probably won't say it on becoming the all-time winningest head coach in the women's game for national titles.
Actually, they're going to say they counted that basket. Gets everybody set where they want to go.
Quick jump. That was a quick jump ball call.
Maryland, and you think about how successful Brenda Freeze has been here. She's trying to get there for the 11th time with this group. We talked about winning that national championship back in 2006. She feels like this team can make a great run.
Remember, Brenda Freeze played at Arizona, got hurt, became a student assistant at Arizona. Once you get that culture built and get it established, you don't lower that bar. And Brenda Freeze certainly has not. Beautiful lady. I love spending time around her.
Lauren Fields comes up with it. Good angle to the bucket, and she's fouled.
You see why they are who they are. One of them's been at it for a number of years. The other one's still very young in her head coaching career. The state of Arizona high school basketball has not been great over the years in terms of producing that top-level talent like a Diamond Miller. So what Adia Barnes has done, she's kept the best ones that are good enough to help you get to a Final Four at home, but she's gone out and been able to bring young ladies in. The consistency of Maryland. We talked about it on Friday. 249 straight weeks ranked inside that AP top 25 poll. Wow. Only UConn more with 564.
Pellington with a hand in her face, a tough contested shot, and Pellington knocks it down.
Have we mentioned it today that 5'8" Pellington can jump up and grab the rim, not touch it, grab the rim. First did it as a senior in high school. One of the more impressive things I've seen this weekend.
And Diamond Miller wants to make her mark and etch her name in the WNBA history books, and certainly she's well on her way.
Diamond's dad, Lance, played at Villanova. Her sister, Adriana, played at Ohio State and LaSalle. Another sister, Lanaya, played at Wagner. It's an athletic basketball family.
And that bucket right there ties an NCAA tournament high for Diamond Miller. She did it last year against Florida Gulf Coast, and tonight again with 24 points here against Arizona.
One thing, if you're going to play Maryland going forward, be aware of Diamond Miller getting the ball on the move. I've been very impressed with her. When she gets that ball going downhill and that big first step, almost impossible to stay in front of her. She's a huge mismatch problem. She doesn't have those takeoff travels. She's very disciplined with her feet. Tough one by Cuello. There you go. You just don't have enough on your final game. But
last game for Diamond Miller inside the Xfinity Center, projected to go as high as 2 in next month's WNBA draft, and certainly put on an outstanding performance in front of her home crowd, and the emotion on the other side. This is always the difficult part when you watch as Kate Reese and Shayna Pellington in their final game as Arizona Wildcats, Jade LaVille as well in their final year.
Tiffany, you got tears on both benches right now. I mean, to our right, Kate Reese. I've watched her since she was a sophomore in high school, man. She loves the game. Has given everything to Arizona. Came there to make Arizona cool, to change the program. I know her parents watching back in Cypress Woods, Texas.
And they're here.
They're here.
They get an opportunity.
We'll go back and watch it again, but they're here. You're right. I forgot about that. But, nothing but utmost respect for what she has done with her career.
Winning the WNIT championship with Arizona, that was the building block as a freshman. Then Shayna Pellington comes on in 2021, and they make it all the way to the national championship. And they have both left a legacy, but the imprint of Kate Reese will be forever remembered at Arizona.
It should hurt. You give your all to something, and then it's over. It should hurt. And I expected to see that type of response from Kate Reese and Shane if it didn't go their way today. And a 13-point win from Maryland. They're going to advance to the Sweet 16 again under Brenda Frese. Really well done. This is a tight squad, a tough squad. They are together. They are different than they were last year when they lost in the Sweet 16. Not as talented, but maybe better overall and a tougher team to knock out.
And a shot clock violation. And in fact, they'll face off against the team they beat in South Bend back on December 1st by a narrow margin. Maryland will take on Notre Dame in the Sweet 16.
Have I told you how cool it is to finally have your cell phone number in my phone? Yeah, the best. The best. The last 3 days with you has changed my life.
Absolutely amazing. Congratulations to the Maryland Terrapins.